You guys, I'm finally back recording for this channel. I actually asked you guys here on YouTube if you'd rather see a book recommendation video or a reading vlog challenge from me, and you guys chose reading vlog challenge. So that is exactly what I'm going to do today. From the title of this video, you already know what's coming, but growing up, I was not an avid reader. I only really read a handful of books in middle school and high school that I really loved. So now that I am an avid reader, I thought it would be fun to revisit those books and see if I still feel the same way about them. Maybe I'll remember things as they happen. I'm hoping a lot of these books feel nostalgic, but I just thought it would be fun to see if my tastes have changed any. I've got a mini stack of books here for this video, so I will quickly go over them. I, of course, was obsessed with the OG YA fantasy series, Fallen by Lauren Kate. I think this came out back in like 2009. Out of all these books, I think this one is the one I remember most, just because I remember watching the movie adaptation this got a long time ago. I don't remember loving the movie adaptation, but I know that there's like a newer TV series adaptation. So after I read this one, I might have to watch that series and see if I like it better than the movie. Another one of my favorites was the Hush Hush series by Becca Fitzpatrick. This is the one I'm most excited to reread because I heard that this recently got picked up for an adaptation, of course. So I'm very interested to see what that's gonna look like. I think a middle school classic for my generation was The Summer I Turned Pretty series by Jenny Han. This is one of the OG covers. This is the third book in the series, We'll Always Have Summer, and I thought this would be perfect timing to reread this book because I've been eating up the Amazon Prime series adaptation, and the third and final season comes out this year in July. So I can read this, it can refresh my memory on everything that happens, and then I'll be ready to watch the third season. This is just one of my favorite YA contemporary coming-of-age stories of all time. The last one I found is Splintered by A.G. Howard. This one I remember reading in high school, so I was a little bit older. I don't think I've heard anyone talk about this book. I do think it was a YA fantasy. I don't remember if it's YA, but it's definitely fantasy. It's essentially like a reimagining of Alice in Wonderland, and I remember this being like a dark spin on that fantasy world, so I just think this would be such a fun one. It also has an entire series. These are my 4 picks for this video. Maybe I can do a part 2 if I end up enjoying this, but these were the only ones that I could find on my bookshelves. I'm sure I read other books, but these are the ones that I loved enough to buy not only the first book, but multiple books in the series. So I think this is a good place to start. I'm actually really excited. I don't know what to start with. Hush Hush and Fallen are both kind of like dark fantasy YA vibes, so I'm gonna try to split those up as much as I can. I think since I'm most excited for Hush Hush, I might read that one first. So we'll see how much of this I actually remember. I think I'm gonna just go ahead and start on this one. In the time I just took to read this much, my ring light died, but I decided to actually just update you guys right here. I was gonna wait until a little bit longer, but some crazy stuff just happened that I wasn't expecting, so I thought this would be a great time to update. Also, please note, I thought I was gonna remember everything as it's happening, like I thought it was all gonna come back to me. I remembered the guy's name, and I guess that's it, because this whole plot, I don't know what to expect. Basically, we have Nora, she's a high schooler, she's in class, she has a best friend named V, and they get new lab partners, essentially, new partners for class. So Nora's new partner is this mysterious cute boy named Patch. She knows nothing about him, he doesn't really participate in class, he wears all black, has like the black shaggy hair, you guys know the type. They already have a little bit of a banter going on, and he definitely gets under her skin, so I'm loving that. We're getting to know the characters, everything's going fine. However, there was something that just happened I was not expecting. There was a little bit of an incident that Nora found herself in, and it was very spooky, creepy. We are at a point now where we don't know necessarily if we could trust Nora's perspective, but I like that. It's intriguing. I'm gonna read a little bit more. Sorry about the lighting. This lamp is gonna have to do. I am eating this up. I love all the little moments they have together. I love all the it's like making me giddy. As you can see, a lot has happened since I last updated you. We did meet another character. He's new to the school as well. He just transferred from like a private school. His name is Elliot, I believe. But he, like, I don't really think is very relevant in the sense that even if they tried to do a love triangle or something, he has blonde hair. I'm pretty sure. You know what I mean? So he's that character. Nora and Patch keep bumping into each other just outside of school. It's everything to me. There was another spooky event that happened while they were at like this amusement park type of thing. I would be freaking out if I was Nora. I don't think she's questioning enough things. But as far as the actual story is going, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. It is very young adult in that in the writing you can feel like the hand holding a little bit. There is like heavy foreshadowing. So I mean, that's something that you always kind of have with young adult books, but I mean, it's not bothering me at all. Something that is a little bit jarring for me personally, like I said at the beginning, I assumed I was gonna remember the story as it goes on. I'm convinced I have not read this book. I truly do not remember any of this, but it's jarring because there's so much in this book that makes me understand why I am the way I am. The way Patch is, granted he is very much like the morally gray character with, you know, dark hair, always wearing black, moody, mysterious, not talkative, has great banter though. Like that's characters that are very much still popular in today's writing. So I of course always love characters like that, but I never knew where that stemmed from. Like I didn't know why I was drawn to those characters. It's because of Patch. It's because of Patch in my 10-year-old brain, and I've just brought that with me unknowingly. Also just like the dark fantasy, gothic, atmospheric, dark angel type of themes I've always loved and been drawn to, and I just didn't know why. And it's gotta be the books that I was reading when I was a child. So things are just making a lot of sense. I'm into it right now, so I think I'm just gonna read a little bit more and we'll see where it gets us. It's currently 7 p.m. already, so let's see how much I can read tonight. Okay. It's later. It's later. I'm still here in this exact same spot. I haven't moved. I continued reading, skipped dinner. I'm gonna have to eat at some point, but things are getting crazy. If we go back to where I last updated you, it was already like the second weird event that happened that was like spooky and we don't know what's going on, right? More of those have been happening, but also there's officially someone like creeping on Nora, like not just watching her and acting like someone who's looking out for her safety. Someone who like actually means her harm has been following her around, and that just adds to the spooky element. It's just that point of the book where I don't trust anyone. Everyone is sus. We also got the part though where it's like Bella in Twilight and she's finally like putting things together and she's like Googling at the computer and she's finding things out. So I'm loving that part of it. I also think we're about to get a one bed trope. What? A one bed trope in a YA fantasy from 2009? Like, I don't know if that's where it's headed. Probably not, but I'm just, what is this book about? There's a lot happening and I'm waiting for answers. So I might take a break right now since I haven't yet, and I'll wait to finish. I only have this much left though. It's reading so fast is the thing. Let me see how many pages there is. 391 pages total, and I'm 280. So I only have like 110 pages left. That's nothing. I'm gonna take a break here, but I might just finish this tonight. So here's what happened. I definitely did end up reading this entire book in one sitting. I finished it later that night, and I was so excited to talk to you about my final thoughts, I sat down and forgot to turn on my microphone. So here I am while I'm editing, and just now realizing I got none of the audio for these clips, but that's okay. I'll quickly go over what I'm pretty sure I was talking about. Overall, I really did enjoy this book. I thought it was entertaining all the way through. The very last chunk of it kind of got overwhelming. It went a route I was not expecting. There was a lot going on. There was a lot revealed and some twists in there, which made it really fun. It was a little bit over the top, but again, it is YA, and I think I would have been eating this up as a kid. I remember talking about how I cannot envision how they're going to do the TV show adaptation, just because there's so many things that I can't see the logistics of. But whatever they decide to do for it, I will definitely be watching. I cannot wait to see their interpretation and how they're gonna do it. I don't normally reread books because I always think I'm gonna remember everything that happened, but I can genuinely say I remembered absolutely none of this book, so that made it a really fun experience as well. But overall, I did enjoy it. I am going to give it, I think, like a 3, maybe 4 star. I honestly had such a good time with it. I think I just need to give it 4 stars. I don't necessarily know that I would pick up the next book in this series right now, but I am glad I got to re-experience the story. Overall, I think it was a really good first book for the vlog. It's a new day and I've been reading We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han. I wanted to switch it up since Hush Hush was a fantasy, so I thought let's just jump into this YA contemporary. And this one is giving me all the feels I thought I was gonna get during this video, the nostalgic vibes. This is one of those where I'm remembering everything that happened as it's happening. It is a young adult coming of age contemporary romance series. It's essentially childhood friends to lovers, and her and this other family are really close and have been their entire lives. So every single summer they spend it together at Cousins Beach, and I think this series does such a good job of like intertwining the memories of them being kids and like having all these special moments together, and then to what's happening now and like where all the feelings are coming from and things from the past. I don't know, it's so good. In the first book, I believe Belly is turning or is 16, so this book takes place like 2 years after. It's their freshman year of college, and there's a lot of drama that happens in this book. It's so good. I don't know though if it's the nostalgia that's making me biased, but I feel like this is such a good book. I know people who hadn't read it before the show came out started reading it and they were saying like Belly's so annoying, like they hated being in her POV. They just thought she was so childish and like hard to read. But I see so much of myself in Belly. Like I would be the same way. Like 16 through 18, they're children. Overall, it's just like a really easygoing, lighthearted read. So I'm having a good time. I think I could finish it right now. There's only 291 pages and I'm on page 127. So I'm gonna read for a little bit right now and see if I could just finish it. I have completed We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han, and I seriously teared up. It's such a good story. This is, I think, what made me a hopeless romantic growing up. This along with all like the rom-coms I grew up on. I just remember relating to her so much when I was younger, and this is such a fun, beautiful ending for this story. They're still young. I think in like the little epilogue, she's like 24, 23, which is younger than me right now. So that's insane. But I cannot wait to see this season. I know that's all I'm talking about. This has me very excited. I know that they said too, like, oh, even the readers are in for a surprise. And they can change whatever they want, truly, but they better end it exactly the same. I also need the Christmas scene and the Valentine's Day scene. Come on, Jenny Han, that's all I'm asking for. I have to give this a 4. I'm sorry, I have to give this a 4. It deserves nothing else but a 4. With Hush Hush, I didn't remember any of that. I remembered everything of this, and I still had a great time, so I'm giving it a 4. Such a good book number 2, though. I'm having a blast with this video. You guys were right with the reading vlog. It's been a couple days since I updated you, but I started Fallen by Lauren Kate a couple days ago and wanted to finish it today if possible. I'm about halfway through, so I thought I would give you like a midpoint update. We have our main character, her name is Lucinda, they call her Luce, and essentially something happened, an incident happened in her past that got her sent to this reform boarding school. While she's there, she meets a bunch of different people, very interesting characters, she makes some friends, and of course, this this mysterious boy catches her eye. What I didn't remember is Luce her whole life has seen these like dark shadow-like things, kind of like in the movie Twitches when they have like that spooky dark cloud thing that slithers around. That's what I'm picturing every time she sees these. The shadows seem to act on their own, so I'm interested to see where that goes. I don't remember that part of this plot. I will say though, and I feel like I keep saying this with every book that I start, it reads so young. I love young adult books and I still very much read young adult, but for some reason, I don't know if it is because, hey, I have read this before, so maybe it's just everything seems obvious because I know more than I should. But with this one and Hush Hush, it just seemed so obvious. Like, I think they're making things too obvious. The foreshadowing is a little too heavy-handed. It feels like they're holding our hand through this whole story and they're like, hey, make sure you notice this. I'm gonna mention this every time that this happens. And it's like a little too much of that for me because I really don't think all YA books are like that. It's just something I'm really noticing throughout this one. Regardless though, I am having a good time. I know I'm not the target audience anymore, so I don't want to be too nitpicky. But for example, like the prologue of this book, I don't think was necessary. I think that gave away way too much, but I'm still excited to see how it ends. I will say the setting I'm in love with. These buildings are built on like really old structures and like it used to be an old church and things like that, so it brings in this very gothic atmosphere. The fact that there's like a cemetery in the middle of the grounds just adds to that. On the romance side of things, we know that our main love interest is going to be this mysterious boy she's interested in, but they actually have another boy they introduced, so I don't know if they're trying to do like a love triangle type of thing. That seems to be very popular in like YA fantasy books like this. My goal for today is to finish this book and then maybe I can start the series adaptation. Okay, it is a bit later. I think it only took me like maybe 3 more hours to finish. And then I also watched the pilot episode of the series adaptation. So let me back up and we'll talk about the book first because I have a lot of thoughts. First things first, I think this book is the first one of the vlog where I felt differently than I did when I was a kid reading it. And by that I mean I didn't love it as much as I thought I was going to. Because I remember reading this the first time around and I was obsessed with it. Like I couldn't get enough. I thought the ending was so crazy and it blew my mind away. And this time around I felt the ending to be quite underwhelming, if I'm being honest. We don't get a lot of answers in this book. Like there's not much of a wrap-up conclusion. You can definitely tell the author had planned to make this a series because we end somewhere, but it's basically just the beginning of this entire story. However, nothing really in the end made me feel like I have to pick up the next book, especially because where this leaves off, we're gonna be in a different setting the second book, and I really liked the boarding school setting. I liked the characters as is, and as things would progress in later books, like I just don't know if I would be invested enough to finish, but who's to say? Also, I have read so many other fantastic YA fantasies that going back to this, I really don't think this one personally holds a candle to some of the other ones I've read recently. That's just my opinion though. I do appreciate this one for what it is though. I'm sure this is the blueprint in a lot of ways. I think maybe my tastes have changed and this one's just written a little younger than I prefer, which is fine. I enjoyed it, I just didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. So I think I'm gonna end up giving this maybe a 3-star. That's still a solid book in my opinion though. I did really like it. It was an easy read. I still do love all of the tropes that happen in here. This one just wasn't my favorite execution wise. Moving on now though to my thoughts on the series adaptation. I was so excited to start this because like I said beforehand, the only adaptation we had was the movie and that was made so long ago. I really thought the pilot was so good. I've seen a lot of adaptations and they're not always my favorite. They just always feel like really rushed and sometimes cheesy depending on like who made it. But this pilot I was very impressed with. I have heard though that this particular series adaptation, it is very different from the book series, they say. Already in episode 1, like I can see those small differences, but everything I've seen so far I think has just added to it. The one thing I was disappointed about though is a character, Ariane. I thought she was so cool in the book. She was definitely like kind of an outcast, more of like a gothy type of feel. And in the TV series, she just wasn't giving that at all, but that's okay. All the other changes that I've noticed, I really enjoyed, and I can't wait to see how the rest of the series is gonna go. But yeah, let me know if you have seen the TV adaptation. Let me know also if you've read this series. It's still pretty early in the day and I don't have many plans, so I think I'm gonna have lunch and then maybe get started on our last book. The only one I have left is Splintered, so I'm gonna have to give that one a go. Location change. I'm in a fully different part of the house, but I have been reading Splintered by A.G. Howard for a little bit. I'm surprised actually I'm this far into it already. It's reading really quickly. I'm only on page 140 and there is 371 pages in the book. This one's pretty good. It's exactly how I remember it, and it's the most recent one that I've read, if that makes sense, because I read this like my senior year of high school. It's also set in modern day time. We're following a girl named Alyssa, and her great-great-great-grandmother, I believe, was the Alice that inspired Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. But the women in Alice's family have all struggled with like mental illnesses. Alyssa though has a secret of her own. She also can hear insects whispering to her and saying things, and plants as well, but she refuses to acknowledge that because she doesn't want to be deemed crazy like her mother. But when Alyssa goes to visit her mother, something happens that makes Alyssa think maybe her mother isn't all that crazy. I think it is so interesting so far. We also have a character named Jeb. It's her best friend growing up. Him and her have always had like a super close connection. He also has a sister she's close with. Alyssa definitely feels something towards Jeb, like we're getting that kind of vibe. But not only is he taken, he's also a little bit older than her and doesn't really seem to be interested in her that way. Like it almost seems like he sees her like a little sister. I'm having such a fun time with this one. I cannot wait to see where it goes. As things are happening, I am remembering it, but I really don't know how this ends. I have no guesses. Speaking of the YA fantasies loving love triangles, there's also this like mysterious shadow Mothman that she has in her memories, basically. Anytime there seems to be a love triangle, it's always like someone you're friends with and grew up with and have a crush on, and it's always like this other guy that's like the best friend can't measure up to him. But this guy doesn't have a name yet and we don't know his intentions, so we'll see what happens. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it today, but I'm gonna read as much as I can. Okay, believe it or not, it's only been a couple days since I last updated you guys. I impulsively cut my bangs, so we're just gonna ignore that and we're gonna continue on with the vlog. I did end up finishing Splintered by A.G. Howard. It honestly took me a while to finish this book, a lot longer than all of the other books I read in this vlog. I don't know exactly why that is. It could have just been I had a lot of things to do while I was reading this one, but I really think it comes down to they just had so much going on in this book. I almost got less and less invested the more insane it got. It was very adventurous. There was like a bunch of things that Alyssa had to do, and being in a familiar setting almost because it is Wonderland, but it's also nothing like the traditional Wonderland that we know and love. I just found that really fun. It definitely reminded me of like the Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland kind of, where everything's just like a little more dark and not exactly as we thought. But with this particular plot, the way that it went, it just felt so overwhelming. There was so much happening. There were so many things she needed to do that by the end I was just kind of like, okay, what now? And then the love triangle aspect that I was rooting for kind of got weird. The Mothman ended up being like ageless, which made it kind of weird, and like, oh, was he grooming her for his own personal reasons? I don't know. It kind of got into that. So definitely made me not like him. And then Jeb, I honestly just didn't love as a person. So I wasn't really here for the romance. I did really enjoy the end though. Some of the twists I were able to predict later on, but for the most part I did think it was really entertaining. I think I'm gonna give it like a 3.5. Not my favorite of the vlog, but another one that I really enjoyed. And if I learned anything throughout this vlog, it's that I need to start rereading more because I remembered nothing. of pretty much any of these books. I think it's safe to say my tastes have pretty much stayed the same. If anything, they've just kind of evolved and I've gotten a little more picky with my writings, but as stories as a whole, I still am very drawn to the same things. I definitely want to do more reading vlog like challenges on this channel. It did take me a while to film, but let me know if you guys enjoyed it and other challenges you would like to see me do. That's pretty much it for this video though. Just wrapping everything up, as always, join our Literal Besties book club if you haven't already. It's completely online and free on the Fable app. This month we're reading Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez, her new book, so I'm so excited to get started on that. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time.